go through your employment background. Where are you currently working?
I currently own my own business. I own a company called M20 Solutions.
What's that company?
We do investigations, training, and consulting for prosecutors, defense teams, and law enforcement.
Is part of that business focused on digital forensics?
Yes.
Prior to that, where did you work?
I worked in law enforcement. I started my career in North Carolina with the Raleigh Police Department. I worked there until 2003. I took a position with the Salt Lake City Police Department, where I worked there until 2017. My last 5 years at Salt Lake City were spent in the homicide unit. In 2017, I took a position with the Salt Lake County District Attorney's Office as an investigator in the homicide unit and worked there for just shy of 6 years until my retirement in 2022.
And that's when you started your own business?
Yes.
Were you asked to analyze phone downloads and phone records for this case?
Yes.
Were you asked to do that process, look at the phone downloads and the phone records for 3 phones belonging to Corey Richens?
Yes.
1 phone belonging to Eric Richens?
Yes.
Phone belonging to Carmen Lauber?
Yes.
A phone belonging to Josh Grossman?
Yes.
And phone records related to Robert Crozier?
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about your qualifications. What type of specific education or training have you received to be able to analyze all of this phone data?
Sure. As it relates to this case, I've taken some formal training. Of course, once you get the formal training, then you get a lot of your experience in the field, in practical experience using that training. I'm a Cellbrite certified operator course. I took that. I took the Cellbrite certified physical analyzer course as well. And then from the call detail records standpoint, I am certified and took a course in, it's called TRAX. It's owned by LexisNexis. It's a location and data analysis program for call detail records and geolocation.
Have you testified before as an expert in digital forensics?
Yes.
How many times?
At least a dozen times in major cases.
And have you testified for prosecution and defense in those cases?
Yes.
How many phones have you done analysis for in your time doing this work?
Phones, hundreds, and call detail records are probably over 1,000.
Have you done downloads yourself?
I have. Yes.
For other cases?
I have.
So let's start, we'll treat it like a funnel. We'll start big picture. Let's talk about digital forensics. What is digital forensics?
The best and easiest way to describe it is the analysis of electronic devices. As it relates to this case, and my specialty is mostly phones and some computers.
So let's talk about specialties within digital forensics. What is, you mentioned that you're certified Cellbrite analyzer user
Yes.
or certified
Yes.
in that program. What is Cellbrite?
Cellbrite, they have several products, but generally what they do is they provide extraction tools to extract data from devices, and then they also provide analysis tools so that you can analyze then those readable files.
You mentioned call detail records. Is there an acronym we refer to those in shorthand?
Yes, CDR.
What is a CDR?
So a call detail record, or a CDR, is exactly what it sounds like pretty much. Okay, it's a record from your carrier, from your cell carrier like Verizon or AT&T, and what it is it is a record of all your call details, so your incoming and outgoing calls, texts, data sessions, things of that nature.
You mentioned location analysis. How do you perform something like location analysis using cell phone data or CDR data?
Yeah, so you can map both, but prevalence is call detail records. So law enforcement can obtain call detail records that include location data with them. And location data is essentially, the carrier reports and maintains a record during their normal course of business, which towers you're using, where that tower is located, and what antenna or sector of the tower that you're utilizing for that communication.
When you're analyzing phone data, what are the two main sources of that information?
Oh, so like for phone data, like in general?
Yeah, when you analyzed phones for this case, what were the two main sources of the data?
So the phones themselves, which is the content of the device, and then the call detail records, which are the communication records associated with those devices.
So when we're talking about call detail records, I think most people understand the phone contents. That comes from the actual device, correct?
Correct.
And the call detail records, you said they were stored by the carrier. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the call detail records, would those be located on anyone's device, or are those solely maintained by AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile?
Yeah, the records themselves are maintained by the carrier.
And what is contained in a call detail record?
There's a lot of information in there. There is typically a timestamp, so there's a date and a time that the communication occurred, amongst whom the communication took place, between which carrier or which numbers the communication took place. So, which phone numbers, whether it's incoming or outgoing, the duration if it's a phone call, and then of course the tower information, the tower location information.
Would a CDR record contain, for example, it would say a text is incoming or outgoing? Would any of the content of those messages be in the call detail record?
No, not in a call detail record.
How do you start, or how do you analyze the contents of a phone? What do you use to do that?
So in this case, I used Cellbrite Physical Analyzer.
And how do you use Cellbrite Physical Analyzer? What does that provide you to allow you to analyze the contents?
So Cellbrite Physical Analyzer is a software package, and what it does is it allows you to analyze readable files from the extraction. So the phone is downloaded, a readable file is created, you load that readable file into Analyzer, and then you can analyze those results.
How often is, are there other programs besides Cellbrite that can perform that function?
Yes.
Is Cellbrite the most commonly used one?
Yes.
Why is that?
It's very popular because it's got a very user-friendly interface. It's widely known. It's widely regarded. Analysts and people that do extractions and downloads and have learned that they can rely on the results of those. They're pretty good, and so it's commonplace in this industry, particularly in law enforcement.
So now you testified that you've done downloads yourself of some phones.
Yes.
Can the person doing the download, extracting that raw data from a phone, can they change the contents of the phone when downloading it?
No.
Can they manipulate it in any way when it's going from the raw data into the Cellbrite reader format?
No, I don't know of a way to do that.
Why might a cell phone be downloaded or extracted more than once?
Usually it's different products are being applied to the phone. There are software updates, but more importantly, there's different products that might be available to obtain more data versus the other, particularly.
When you receive the download report from the phone in the readable format, what is contained in that report?
In the report is going to be all the system files. So there's going to be, most importantly, is the calls, texts, the web history. There can be biometrics. There can be like activity, movement of the device, biometric information, web searches. There's pretty much everything that is contained in the phone that a user might utilize, or it would be available in that download.
Can a download report show if there have been things deleted off of the phone?
Yes.
How does it show that?
Yeah. In Physical Analyzer, if the extraction software recovers something from a database that has been set for for deletion, it can find that and then repopulate it into the phone as to where actually into the report for where it belongs. And when it does that, in the program, it signifies that with like a small red X in a column next to it to let you know that it had been previously deleted from the device as an active user, or by the active, the active file. But the software has been able to go in, find it in the database, and repopulate it.
So if a user deletes an item, it might still be stored on the phone that can be pulled by that report.
Correct. They may not be able to see it and think it's gone, but it may still be within a database that can be retrieved and repopulated.
Now, is that possible for all items that a user deletes?
No.
Why not?
Some of those deletions are system files, and so they're maintained in the background. The average user would not, or probably be able to, delete system files. They literally run the phone.
So if I'm a common user of a phone and I delete a photo, how long would it be kind of in the background of that phone and able to be downloaded by this report before it's gone forever?
Right. Well, it kind of varies, and it varies by, there's a lot of variation there, but typically when an item like an image is deleted, the image itself, that process, the original, like if it was sent to you or whatever, and you deleted it, it would be gone from your view in the phone, but it would be in a deletion file. And so that deletion file eventually has to make room for more deletions, so then it pushes deleted files out to make room for more deletions, so that it can refill it. It only has so much room, so it has to purge that at some point. And that time can vary. More deletions are going to make that process typically happen more rapidly than less.
So if items have been deleted by a user and that phone gets downloaded in maybe that sweet spot where it's still somewhere in the background of the phone,
right, that
could be in the report.
It could be.
But if you miss that window, and then the item is gone for good and can't be found in one of those extraction reports.
Pretty much. Once it's deleted from the system file, it's a process called a vacuum. Once it's vacuumed out and those files are reduced, it's essentially, you're probably not going to find it.
Now, if a user deletes a text from a phone, from their own phone, does that affect how the text message would show up on the receiving end?
No.
Shifting over to the CDR, the call detail records, you kind of described what that is, and that it's stored by the cell phone carrier. How long is that data stored by the different major cell phone carriers?
They're all different, so they maintain their records for varying amounts of time. Verizon typically will keep call detail records for 18 months to 24 months, but they will only keep the associated location data for about a year, whereas AT&T and T-Mobile will keep that information for a much longer time.
Now, because this data is maintained or kept by AT&T or Verizon, can a user access that information?
No, those are business records maintained by the carrier.
Okay, I feel like we have a good groundwork now, and I want to turn your attention to what you did,
so.
what you did in this case.
Okay.
When were you brought on to work on this case?
I came on in May of 2023.
And in general, what were you asked to do for your part in this case?
Analyze phone downloads, and analyze call detail records for pertinent information related to the case.
And so you analyzed phone downloads for this case, and you talked about the process for doing that. Did you perform any of the downloads for the phones, in this case, yourself?
The downloads, no.
And in viewing the download reports for the phones you analyzed, did you learn who the phone belonged to?
Yes.
How do you do that?
Well, besides the record or file being designated as belonging to that person, when you open the physical analyzer report, it gives details about the phone number, the IMEI number for the phone, and whatnot, and that can be matched to the user, whomever was using it at the relevant time.
As you analyzed phones for this case, did you generally become familiar with the people involved?
Yes.
Did you become familiar with what they look like?
Yes.
How did you become familiar with what these people look like?
Law enforcement shared that information with me, but in most instances, when I looked into the phone downloads, there are pictures of those people inside those phones doing various things, hanging out with family or, contact photos, that type of thing.
I first want to turn your attention to Eric Richens' phone. Did you do an analysis of Eric Richens' phone?
Yes.
And was that a phone with the number 801-792-9317?
Yes.
Did you receive a download report from the Summit County Sheriff's Office for that phone?
Yes.
And was that download performed by Changi Entau and Marcos Garicachia?
I believe so.
When you reviewed the report for Eric Richens' phone, did you find any evidence of mass deletions on his phone?
In Eric's phone, mass deletions, no.
How would you be able to tell if somebody had made batch or mass deletions from their phone?
Usually, if it's not evident in the actual phone download, whereas you can actually see the software has reported that those items were found as deleted and recovered. Outside of that, you would compare it to other types of evidence, such as like the call detail records.
So how would you be able to tell if there were deletions when comparing the phone to the call detail records?
It's basic. You just take the call detail record and you look and you see who that person was communicating with through their call detail record, and then you would be able to verify if those communications were maintained in the call logs on the phone themselves. So if I called you 5 times today, it would show in my call detail record, but if you downloaded my phone, it would also show in my call log that I called you 5 times today and what time of day and how long our phone calls were.
Did you review text message conversations from Eric Richens' phone?
Yes.
And in addition, did you review device activity data?
Yes.
You mentioned biometric data. What type of biometric data can you recover from a phone or review?
Right. It's kind of hand in hand with the activity report that you just mentioned. When a device moves or a connected device moves, it reports that movement to the device, and it's found in that activity sensor report portion of the download.
Did you look at Eric Richens' phones for evidence of THC gummy use?
Yes.
And did you find text messages between Eric Richens and Corey Richens as it related to THC gummy use?
Yes.
Was that 3 conversations?
It was.
Okay. Was that 1 conversation in November of 2021?
Yes.
And 2 conversations in January of 2022?
Yes.
Scott, if we could show the witness 2-118D. Is it on your screen?
It's not. I got
Okay.
a desktop.
You have Blueberry Law showing.
Not on my screen, no.
Oh, my apologies.
Frozen from when I unplugged the lunch.
That's okay. 1 second. Counsel.
Is this the conversation you referenced from November of 2021?
You may need Scott to zoom in. It's pretty small.
Oh,
It is. I'm wearing my.
there we go.
Yeah, there. Yeah, better. Thanks, Scott. Yes, this is a November of 2021 conversation.
And that's between Corey Richens and Eric Richens.
Yes.
Scott, if you could show the witness 2-119D, please. Is this a conversation between Eric Richens and Corey Richens in January of 2022?
It is.
Thank you. And Scott, if you could show the witness 2-124D. And is this another conversation from January of 2022 from Eric Richens to Corey Richens?
It is.
Did you also analyze Eric Richens' phone for information about illicit drug use?
Yes.
Did you find anything in Eric Richens' phone about illicit drug use?
No, outside THC, I didn't find anything.
Any communications on Eric Richens' phone about buying drugs?
No.
Now I want to talk about Corey Richens' phones. Did you analyze 3 phones that belonged to Corey Richens
I
for
did.
this case?
I did, yes.
Scott, if you could put up 3-37D, please. Do you recognize this?
I do.
What is it?
This is an exhibit that represents the 3 phones that you just mentioned that were being used by Ms. Richens that are relevant to this case.
Did you help create this exhibit?
I did.
I'm going to move to admit 337D.
No objection. Okay. States 3-37D is admitted.
And publish, please.
Done.
What phone is at the top of this exhibit?
Okay, so the phone at the top of the exhibit on the left-hand side is Ms. Richens' white iPhone, and the 2 numbers that are there, next to the 1 and the 2, those represent the phone numbers that were being used on that device during the time of September 2020 to April of 2022.
What do those dates represent?
That's the duration of the time that phone was being utilized.
So you mentioned for Corey Richens' white iPhone that there were 2 numbers on that phone. What number were you able to determine was maybe the primary or most used number for that phone?
Right, so the number ending in 1987 is going to be the primary number. That is the carrier subscriber number through Verizon that phone was utilizing. And then the 1152 number is a VoIP number that was being used on that device as well.
So you said VoIP number, but tell the jury, how do you get 2 phone numbers on 1 phone?
You just use an app.
Okay. How is, in this case, the number 1152, how is that different than what you called the subscriber number, the 1987? How is it different?
Right, so that number, a VoIP number, it uses the internet to make calls, make and receive calls, make and receive texts. You can use that number like you would your normal carrier number. The difference is it uses data, and so it typically doesn't show up on your call detail records when you use it.
Did you view a download from Corey Richens' white iPhone?
I did.
And that came from the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
It did.
And that download was performed by Cheney Engtao and another download by Marcos Gary Cuchilla?
I believe so, yes.
Did that download contain text messages, call logs, web searches, things like that?
Yes.
In addition to that, were you also able to view what we were calling activity data or device sensor data for that phone?
Yes.
When you did the analysis for that white iPhone, was there evidence of deletions?
Yes.
Was there evidence of text message deletions?
Yes.
Evidence of call log deletions?
Yes.
Describe what time frame you were able to recognize those deletions happening.
The time frame essentially for that device is mid-March. So specifically as it relates to some of the other items I looked at related to this case, we're looking basically January 1st through middle of March 2022.
What was missing from that phone for January 2022, February 2022, and March 2022?
Hundreds of text messages at least. They were also missing most of the web history artifacts in that device.
Call histories as well?
Call logs, etc.
So turning your attention to the middle phone here. What are this?
Yes.
Now, comparing Corey's silver iPhone that she began using in April of 2022 compared to the prior phone, the one that she was using leading up to that point, were there patterns of deletions in this phone similar to the white iPhone?
There were some deletions noted, but not in the same manner as the previous phone. No.
What do you mean not in the same manner?
Meaning there were not big chunks of hundreds of text missing from the device that I noted, compared to the new phone did not have that type of deletion in it.
So now let's talk about the third phone on this exhibit. It says Corey Richens' blue iPhone. Interchangeably, is that
so
okay?
do I. That's fine.
They're the same thing.
Yeah.
And that download came from the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
Now, similar questions about the blue iPhone. It seems that the date ranges for that are the same as the silver iPhone. Is that correct?
Correct.
So, based on your analysis, Corey Richens was using the blue iPhone and the silver iPhone at the same time.
Correct.
Same question for the blue iPhone. Were there mass deletions on the blue iPhone when comparing it to what you looked at for the white iPhone?
No.
Now, you did an analysis of a phone belonging to Carmen Lauber, is that correct?
Correct.
And that's the phone with the number ending 6127?
Yes,
Did you analyze CDR data for Carmen Lauber's phone?
I did.
And did you view an extraction or a download for that phone?
Yes.
And that came from the Summit County Sheriff's Office?
Yes.
On Carmen Lauber's phone, were you able to tell if there were deletions on that phone?
Yes.
What were you able to note about items being deleted?
Essentially in the same manner as with Miss Richens' original phone. When comparing Miss Lauber's call detail records, there were hundreds of texts and dozens of calls contained in those call detail records for that period of time, but they were no longer contained inside the device. Like there was pretty much all of it was gone.
Did you also look at call detail records for Robert Crozier's phone?
Yes.
And was that for a phone with a number ending 0540?
Yes.
All right, turning your attention to Robert Josh Grossman, did you analyze a download for a phone belonging to that person?
Yes.
And that download was given to you by the Summit County Sheriff's Office.
Yes.
One download that was performed by Marcos Garicachia. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes.
And that phone had two different numbers associated with it, 1260 and then 0904.
Correct.
When looking at all of these different phone downloads, did you analyze communications between Eric Richens and Corey Richens?
Yes.
Scott, if you could show Mr. Kotrodimus Exhibit 2-3D, please. Just zoom in a little bit so he can recognize it. Is this a message between Corey Richens and Eric Richens from December of 2020?
Yes, it is.
Scott, if you could show the witness Exhibit 2-5D. Is this another message between Corey Richens and Eric Richens from June of 2021?
Yes.
Scott, if you could show the witness Exhibit 2-17D. Is this a text message between Eric Richens and Corey Richens in January of 2022?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay, before we jump into communications between some of these other parties, I want to see if you have analyzed these messages as well. Scott, if you could show the witness Exhibit 2-121. Do you recognize this message as a text message thread that you analyzed from Corey Richens' phone from December of 2022?
Yes.
Scott, if you could show the witness 2-112. Similar question, do you recognize this as a text message from Corey Richens' phone that you analyzed from February of 2023?
Yes.
And Exhibit 2-113. Do you recognize this message as a text thread with Corey Richens from March of 2023?
Yes.
And Scott, 2-14, please. Do you recognize this as a message from Corey Richens' phone from March of 2023?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Scott. Did you analyze communications between Corey Richens and, I know he goes by Josh, but Robert Josh Grossman?
Yes.
Did they communicate as far back as 2020
They did. Yes.
and through October of 2022?
Yes.
What were the typical volume of calls and texts between Corey Richens and Josh Grossman?
Particularly from November of 21, which was essentially when the 1152 number showed up on his phone, daily, with a few exceptions.
Now, Scott, if you could put up 337D again, please, for the jury as well.
One moment.
Now, you mentioned that the 1152 number showed up on Josh Grossman's phone. What number did Corey Richens and Josh Grossman, from Corey Richens' side, what number did she use to communicate with Josh Grossman?
By text, 1152.
Were you able to tell if she communicated with other people using that phone number, or was it mostly Mr. Grossman?
Mr. Grossman.
Did you find information on Corey Richens' phone about these communications, or was that mostly from Mr. Grossman's phone?
I found none on Miss Richens, and everything I found was on Mr. Grossman's.
In analyzing Corey Richens' communications with Josh Grossman, did you locate documents that pertain to this case?
Yes.
Scott, if you could show the witness Exhibit 3-1. And then if you could, I believe there's a second page, if you could show the subsequent pages. Do you recognize this?
I do.
What is it?
This is
Generally speaking, is
generally
it a
speaking,
document you found?
Yeah, it's a vacation reservation made, or that was located inside Miss Richens' device.
I'm going to move to admit 3-1.
Can you zoom out for a second, Scott? Go back to page 1 for me. It's a 2-page document, is that right?
I don't know if there's a third page. There's a third page that's the...
Fourth. Okay. 4 pages.
4.
Mr. Roman.
Objection to authenticity as well as hearsay judge.
Talk to me about authenticity. Why don't you folks approach for a second?
All right, let's pause here for a moment. Let's see. You can see that document, right?
Yes, sir.
Would you ask the foundational question one more time? That was
Certainly. Mr. Cochadimos, in analyzing Corey Richens' phone, did you find documents that were pertinent to this case?
Yes.
And you located those on Corey Richens' device?
Yes.
And looking at Exhibit 3-1 in front of you, is this one of those documents that you located on her phone?
Yes.
Move to admit 3-1.
Mr. Ellis, any other objection? Okay. So the record is clear. The objection asserted at sidebar is overruled. Scott, forgive me, you got to go back to page 1. 3-1, a 4-page document is admitted. Do you want to publish?
Yes, please. And Scott, if we could zoom in on. Thank you, Scott. Did you analyze communications between Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber?
Yes.
Did they begin communicating around December of 2021?
They communicated prior to 2021, but in relation to this case and in relation to the cell phone, the CDR records, in relation to that extraction or her phone download, yes, 2021, December.
From January of 2022 to, say, March 15th of 2022, what was the volume or approximate volume of text messages between Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber for that 3-month period?
Between the two of them, about 800 text messages.
Doing some quick math, that's about 11 per day.
Yes, about 10 or 11 a day on average.
So from March 16th, 2022 to the end of that year, so March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, approximately how many text messages between Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber for that 9-month time frame?
About 600, 650.
Okay, we're going to do some quick math. Is that about 3 per day?
It's about 3 per day.
Now, to be clear, I'm not asking you if they communicated 3 times a day, right? Just doing
Correct.
the average, that's about what it would come out to.
Right, it's about a 70% decrease if my math is right.
Where does that data come from?
The call detail records between Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber.
And because it's a call detail record, we don't have the content of any of those messages.
Correct.
They've been deleted from Corey Richens' phone.
Yes.
They've been deleted from Carmen Lauber's phone.
Yes.
We don't know what they said.
Correct.
I want to turn your attention to February 11th, 2022. Did you analyze CDR records for Corey Richens from that time frame?
Yes.
If you could look at Exhibit 3-6, please. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Is this a call detail record for Corey Richens' phone?
Yes.
Is this one of those documents that you reviewed in your analysis for this case?
Yes.
Move to admit 3-6.
States 3-6 is admitted.
If we could please publish that document. Okay, we've been talking about call detail. And who do those numbers come back to?
Those are IRS numbers.
So on those 3 occasions, Corey Richens was calling the IRS.
Correct.
Still talking about, thank you, Scott, for that. Still talking about February 11th of 2022. Did you analyze communications or CDR records for Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber from that day?
Yes.
And did they communicate that day?
They did.
And do you know that from the CDR data?
Yes.
For February 11th, 2022, do you have location data related to Carmen Lauber's cell tower use on that day?
Yes, from her device, yes.
And did that come from the call detail records?
Yes.
Scott, if you could show the witness Exhibit 3-8. 38D. If you could zoom out just a little bit so that we can see the whole.
We can. It's that screen.
Oh, it's my screen. I see. Everyone else can see the whole thing. Okay. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Did you help create this?
I did.
And did you do that using the CDR data we've been talking about?
Correct. I provided the call detail information to the graphic designer that created this exhibit.
Does Exhibit 3-8D accurately depict the raw data that you analyzed?
Yes.
Move to admit 3-8D.
States 3-8 delta is admitted.
If we could please publish. So what are we looking at here? Describe for the jury, and if it's easier for you to step down, you can. But what's at the top?
You know what? Yeah, maybe I will step down actually.
Because I have this clicker, but maybe it will
Gotcha.
work better for you.
It's
You can try to use this. It's just a little.
If I tap it, it works.
that does not work.
Thought it wasn't just
Mr.
me.
Contreras, would you tap that mic, see if it's working? Yeah, okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
So
go ahead and describe what we're looking at here.
Right. Well, what we're looking at is a representation of the call detail records that Ms. Shervinick mentioned. What you have on the right-hand side is going to be the text communications between Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber for February 11th, 2022. There's just a photo so you know whose device we're referring to. A photo of Ms. Richens, a photo of Ms. Lauber. The blue bubble with the 3 dots indicates that this is a text message, and then the arrow is going to depict which direction that calls. So, for instance, the very first one at 3:22:44 is an outgoing message from Ms. Richens to Ms. Lauber at that time. And so these are, on the right-hand side, these are going to come up so that you can see when the two communicated, the volume of the communication, and then also the direction. Okay. On the left-hand side is a representation of essentially the Davis County and Salt Lake County Valley areas, and you're going to see locations pop up on these on this map as we move through the record chronologically. What those, for instance, there you go. Thanks, Scott. So this is a tower location. It's pointing to the location of the tower. That's important, not the device, but the tower of that Ms. Lauber device is utilizing at 4:11 p.m., for instance. Okay. Mr. Crozier's record was also populated into this as well. And at the same time, at 4:11 p.m., Mr. Crozier is pointing towards a tower location in the Davis County area. So you know which tower their devices are using. On the left-hand side, these are going to move. And what that depicts is the movement of the device as they reacquire different towers. Okay? And then on the right-hand side, as we go through the slides, it's going to start populating. So Scott, you can start populating. So at 4:11, this represents a phone or a communication between Ms. Lauber and Mr. Crozier, and this is their respective locations. You can see on the right-hand side through the 4 o'clock and the 5 o'clock hour, beginning in the 5 o'clock hour, Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber continue to communicate via text. At 5:05, Ms. Lauber is still in the Heber Valley area, and that picture that you just saw was a photo from that time frame that was recovered from Ms. Lauber's cell phone device. All right, so you can see at 5:05, Ms. Lauber is now, her device is now hitting on a tower in the Provo Canyon area out near the reservoir, and Mr. Crozier's device is using a tower at 5:20 p.m. up in the Davis County area. And on the right-hand side, you're going to see Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber continue to communicate with one another. And Ms. Lauber's device is traveling down Provo Canyon and into the Utah County area. That device is now heading into roughly the Utah County area. It's utilizing towers in those locations, and eventually it's going to move north. And you can see Mr. Crozier's device has now jumped significantly. I want to explain this to you, the jury, because this is important. Mr. Crozier's carrier is T-Mobile. Okay, so his carrier does not provide location data for these records for text. It's only calls. So the only time Mr. Crozier's location is going to appear the change is when his device is utilizing a tower for a call. Ms. Lauber's was more detailed. This isn't all of every single pinpoint of every single tower, because every single text she made utilized a tower, but for the sake of not cluttering this up with a bunch of repeats on top of each other, you can assume that from the previous point to the next point, she was utilizing the tower before it. So she was utilizing the tower near the reservoir for several texts, and then now she's using this one in the Utah County area. All right, Scott. Yep, so Mr. Crozier's device is now moved a little bit farther south and utilizing a tower there. In the 6 o'clock hour, Ms. Lauber and Ms. Richens are communicating via text, and Ms. Lauber is now arriving on a tower at or near the area of, it's in Draper, Utah, near the area of a Maverick store that's there. Mr. Crozier is heading in the same general direction, utilizing a tower in the same area. You can see on the right-hand side, Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber are continuing to communicate via text. And then at 7:21, we have Mr. Crozier and Ms. Lauber utilizing the same tower. They're not talking to each other, but they are utilizing the same tower near that Draper location. And this is that location. So on the left-hand side, you can see there Mr. Crozier and Ms. Lauber at 7:21 are making their respective communications. Their devices are using this tower, which is located across the freeway from this Draper, from this Maverick store in Draper, right off the freeway. Ms. Lauber and Ms. Richens continue to communicate into the 7 o'clock hour. This photo was recovered from Ms. Lauber's phone download, depicting her with another woman during this time. There's another photo. And by 8:20, Ms. Lauber's device is now moving south and utilizing towers south of that Draper location. And by 8:47, Mr. Crozier has made or received a phone call, because we know that's the only records his denote towers, and he's moving back north towards the Davis County area. And then Ms. Lauber by 8:56 is utilizing a tower in the Heber Valley area.
What are we looking at that's depicted here on the last page of this exhibit?
So this is an image that was contained within that text thread that was sent by Ms. Richens to Mr. Grossman.
And it was sent approximately an hour before that arrival time, is that correct?
Correct. This follows the text in which Mr. Grossman asked Ms. Richens about an hour, and she sent this photo.
Thank you, Scott. Did you also analyze communications between Corey Richens and Eric Richens on Valentine's Day 2022?
Yes.
If you could show Mr. Cotrodimus 2-28D and scroll through it so he can see the whole exhibit, please. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Is this an exhibit that you created?
Yes.
Does Exhibit 2-28D accurately depict the raw data that you analyzed in this case?
Yes.
Move to admit 2-28D.
States 2-28D is admitted.
We could publish, please.
You're only going to give the instructions that you've done in the past as to the figure say, as to Mr. Richens. Maybe we can just do it once. We all know that it applies to all of them.
So, fair reminder, the statements by Ms. Richens on her side of that conversation, you may consider those for any purpose. You may give them the weight you deem appropriate.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Sure. We're back on the record at 231500139. Mr. Ramos, before we invite the jury back in, any objection me to describing States Exhibit 228D as a February 14, 2022 text exchange between Eric Richens in green and Corey Richens in blue?
No, Judge. No,
Okay.
There was only one other message, and we're good with it.
Okay, very good. Anything before we invite the jury in, Ms. Shervnak?
No, Your Honor. You'll give them a clarifying instruction about. Okay.
I intend to fall on my sword on that one. All right, we're ready for the jury.
All rise for the jury.
Folks, feel free to have a seat as you come in, please. Have a seat, please. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, before we took a break, I misspoke and created some confusion. Let me clear that up now. States Exhibit 2-28D, as in Delta, is a February 14, 2022 text exchange between Eric Richens, as depicted in the green bubbles, and Corey Richens, as depicted in the blue bubbles. The jury may consider either and both sides of that conversation for any purpose. You may give either and both sides any weight you think they deserve. Ms. Shervnak, take it from there.
Thank you, Judge. If we could put 228D up on the screen. I don't know if we got through the whole conversation before. I forget where we left off, so I'm going to have Scott go through this conversation for the jury with that new instruction in mind. In addition to these text messages, did you also analyze Eric Richens' device data, sensor data, I guess, for February 14th of 2022?
Yes.
If we could show Exhibit 314D, please. Do you recognize this?
I do?
Is this an exhibit you helped create?
Yes.
Does Exhibit 3-14D accurately depict the raw data that you analyzed from Eric Richens' phone?
Yes.
Move to admit 3-14D.
No objection.
States 3-14D is admitted.
If we could publish, please, on other days.
Yes.
And did you compare the data from Valentine's Day to those other days?
I did.
Was it unusual for Eric to have, Eric Richens to have an 87-minute gap in his activity in the middle of a workday?
It wasn't typical, no.
Thank you, Scott. I want to turn your attention to February 26th of 2022. Did you analyze communications between Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber on that day?
Yes.
Scott, if we could show Mr. Kotrodimus 3-16D. Do you recognize this?
I do?
Did you help create this?
I did.
Is this using the CDR data that you analyzed for this date?
Yes, this is essentially the same type of exhibit that was created for February 11th.
Does Exhibit 3-16D accurately depict the raw data that you viewed for February 26th?
It does.
Move to admit 3-16D, please,
No objection.
States 3-16D is admitted.
and publish to the jury, please. So we saw an exhibit like this before for
Yes.
February 11th.
Yes, we did.
Are we looking at information now pertaining to February 26th?
We are on this. This exhibit is text communication between Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber on that day.
And similar map of the same area,
Yes.
arrows denoting who sent the message.
Yes. The times they were sent and received and direction, yes.
Now, these pictures are kind of small, but similar to the last exhibit from February 11th, Ms. Richens is denoted with the red background, is that correct?
Correct. She's on the left side there.
And Ms. Lauber is denoted with the green background?
Correct.
And then we also see Robert Crozier on these exhibits, and he's in the yellow background, is that correct?
Yes, he will come up. There he is. He'll come up on the map there on the left-hand side.
And again, Scott, if we could move through this exhibit, and Mr. Kotrodimus, if you could describe what we're seeing as we go through this
Sure.
process for February 26th.
Sure. On the right-hand side, similar to the other day, there was text communications between Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber through the 2 o'clock hour. It picked back up in the 5 p.m. hour. And at some point during the 5 p.m. hour, Ms. Lauber's device started utilizing towers in those same locations from the previous day. Provo Canyon, Utah County area, traveling north until it finally stopped in the area of the southern end of Salt Lake County. Same thing with Mr. Crozier's device, beginning once again in Davis County and moving south and utilizing towers along the way. So Ms. Lauber is now on the left-hand side. You can see by 7 p.m. or so, she is utilizing towers back in Provo Canyon, heading back to the Heber Valley area where she ultimately ends up. Mr. Crozier has returned back into the general area of the Davis County area by 8 p.m. And then you saw all the communications between Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber, 71 texts between 2:25 p.m. and 10:33 p.m. that day. And Mr. Crozier and Ms. Lauber, 65 texts and 3 phone calls.
Now, similar to February 11th of 2022, did you look at the communications between Carmen Lauber and Robert Crozier for February 26th of 2022?
Yes.
If we could show Mr. Kotrodimus 3-34D, please.
Excuse me.
Do you recognize this?
I do.
Is this an exhibit that you helped create?
It is.
And does 3-34D accurately depict the raw data that you analyzed for that date, February 26th.
It does.
Move to admit 3-34D
States 3-34D is admitted.
and publish to the jury, please. Okay, we've seen one of these before.
Yes, we have.
We know the data that's on here. If we could, Scott, move through this, Mr. Kotradimus, as you just described.
Yeah, so there's the 4:01 p.m. Call from the previous slide. Mr. Crozier is in Davis County. Ms. Lauber is in the Heber Valley area. To the right, those are the communications between the two. There's texts and some phone calls. You can see the date stamps next to those. Essentially, what this exhibit shows is the other side of that communication or that incident or event between Ms. Lauber and Ms. Crozier. Mr. Crozier and Ms. Lauber. Sorry. The two devices appear to travel in the same direction until they come to the same generalized location, utilizing those towers, and then return back to their respective starting points.
And that location that they're meeting up at, same as February 11th, 2022?
Yes, it's consistent with that, with the Draper area near that Maverick.
Thank you, Scott. Did you analyze, moving now, to March 2nd of 2022, did you analyze CDR data for Corey Richens' device from March 2nd, 2022?
Yes,
Scott, if we could show Mr. Kotradimus 3-17, please. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Is this the call detail records for Corey Richens that has March 2nd?
Yes.
I'll move to admit 3-17.
317 is admitted.
And if we could show the call from 10:22 a.m., please, from March 2nd. And 10:27 a.m. Is that the same number that we see from the call at 10:22 and the call at 10:27?
It is the same number, yes.
Are
And
those-
again, 1040.
Are those outgoing phone calls from Miss Corey Richens?
Yes.
Who was she calling at 10:22 and 10:27?
That's the IRS.
What is the duration of the call made at 10:27?
The first call is 3 minutes, and the second call at 10:27 is 101 minutes.
Still talking about March 2nd of 2022, did you look at communications between Corey Richens and Eric Richens on that date?
Yes.
If you could show the witness 2-37D. Do you recognize this?
I do.
And is this an exhibit that you created?
Yes.
Is this a text message thread between Eric Richens and Corey Richens?
Yes.
We will talk about the content of this exhibit at a later time. I just wanted to lay out the information that you're aware of what it is and where it came from.
Okay.
I now want to turn your attention to March 9th of 2022. Same questions as February 11th and February 26th. Did you look at communications between Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber for March 9th of 2022?
Yes.
We could show Mr. Kotradimus 3-35D. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Is this an exhibit that you helped create
It is.
using the CDR data that you just talked about?
Correct.
Does 3-35D accurately depict the raw data contained in that CDR information?
Yes.
We'll move to admit 3-35D
States 3-35D is admitted.
and publish to the jury, please. Okay, so we've seen these before.
We have.
We're looking at the same area of the Salt Lake Valley, and again, communications for March 9th, 2022 between Corey Richens and Carmen Lauber. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Scott, if we could move through this exhibit, please.
And this is just the same representation of those records. It shows essentially the same travel, and it depicts the conversations, text conversations or communications between Ms. Richens and Ms. Lauber's devices. We've got 10 o'clock hour, 11 o'clock hour. Miss Lauber is moving. She moves a little north in this. If you want to stop it right there, Scott, just for the 1211, 1213. She moves north out of the Heber Valley for this particular event. That tower at 12:11 p.m. is located very close to the Richens residence. Other than that, the travel is going to be depicted in a similar manner. Miss Lauber is going to travel same route through Provo Canyon into the south end of the Salt Lake County area, in an area consistent with being at or near the Draper, the Maverick and Draper. And Mr. Crozier is going to do the same thing. He's going to travel south, and his device is going to utilize towers in that direction as well. On the right-hand side, you're just seeing more communications between Miss Lauber and Miss Richens from that day. So Mr. Crozier and Miss Lauber's devices are coming together, utilizing the same tower in that area. Again, that's the tower across the freeway from the Maverick in Draper. Then the two will depart, or presumably depart, and their devices are utilizing different towers until they return to their respective starting points.
Did you look at communications between Carmen Lauber and Robert Crozier from March 9th, 2022?
Yes.
We could show the witness 3-36D. Do you recognize this?
I do.
This is an exhibit that you helped create.
It is?
Is it using the raw data from March 9th, CDR data from March 9th, 2022?
Yes.
Does 3-36D accurately depict the raw data you just described?
It does.
Move to admit 3-36D.
3-36D is admitted.
And again, we've seen this before.
Yes.
This is for March 9th of 2022. And this exhibit, who are the communications between in this exhibit?
This is communications between Mr. Crozier and Miss Lauber for that day, March 9th.
And Scott, if we could move through this exhibit, please.
And you've essentially seen the map before on the previous slide between Miss Crozier and Miss Lauber. The thing that's different on this is the communications are just between Mr. Crozier and Miss Lauber, or Mr. Crozier and Miss Lauber. Again, 11 o'clock hour, 12 o'clock hour, they're communicating. The devices essentially come together into the same general location, utilizing a tower there. Again, that depicts the tower and across the freeway from the Draper Maverick. The two parties continue to communicate until they return to the Heber Valley area and the Davis County area, respectively.
So far, we looked at communications and location data for February 11th, 2022, February 26th, 2022, and March 9th of 2022. Other than those three occasions, did Carmen Lauber ever visit that Maverick and Draper in all the data that you reviewed?
No, her device never was never in that general area.
Did she ever meet up with Robert Crozier? Did their devices come together at any other time other than those three occasions that we've talked about here?
No.
I want to turn your attention to March 3rd, 2022. Did you analyze data from Eric Richens' phone from the night he died?
Yes.
You looked at call records,
Yes.
and you looked at text messages and web searches.
Yes.
We could show the witness 3-39D. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Is this an exhibit that you helped create?
It is.
Does it accurately depict the raw data that you reviewed from Eric Richens' phone?
Yes.
Move to admit 3-39D.
3-39D is admitted.
You could publish this to the jury, please. So you might want to step down for this so we can just describe for the jury what we're looking at here.
Sure. So this is at the top. The heading is Eric Richens' phone activity, March 3rd, 2022. This is from 8:30 p.m. that evening until midnight. It's basically just a moving timeline, so you can see what Eric's device was doing during that time period in context to text messaging and web searches, that type of thing. So at 8:30, there's a text to a contact named Pedro Sonora, and then there's a text from like 9 seconds later. Those continue. There's a few of those, and then there are texts between Eric Richens' device and a contact named Scott Wagner in that device. Those continue into and through 8:30. There is a discussion going on between Mr. Richens and Scott Wagner, kind of back and forth during that time. And then at 8:50 p.m. on that day, Scott Wagner calls Eric Richens, and they talk for 8 minutes and 32 seconds. At 9:45 p.m., a Google search is made from Eric Richens' device. There's a misspell in it, but he's basically searching how far is it from Scottsdale to Nogales. And then at 10:18 p.m., there's an incoming text from a contact titled Raul C&E.
Thank you. For that last text message that's listed in the 10 o'clock or 10 p.m. hour, was there any indication that that message was opened by Eric Richens?
No.
During this time frame from 8:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. on March 3rd, how many phone calls were made on Eric Richens' device?
One.
That's the phone call that you talked about to Scott Wagner.
Correct.
No other phone calls made on that device that night.
No, between 8:30 and midnight, no.
Talking about same time frame, the night of March 3rd, 2022, did you look at Corey Richens' phone for that same time frame?
Yes.
Did you analyze the data and device events for that phone?
Yes.
If we could show 3-18D1. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Is this an exhibit that you helped create
Yes.
using the raw data from Corey Richens' phone?
Yes.
Does 3-18D1 accurately depict the raw data that you reviewed?
It does.
I'll move to admit 3-18D1.
318D1 is admitted.
If we could publish this, please. Similar to Eric Richens' device, I guess not showing communications, but what are we looking at here for this device data?
So there's an activity sensor and device events for that device.
When you say device events, what do you mean?
So there are certain events that are captured in a device in the system files that detect various things. One of those things is locks and unlocks, meaning when you locked or unlocked your phone. The activity sensor is device movement. So there are accelerometers and gyroscopes and whatnot inside your device. And when it moves and it detects movements, it reports that to the system files, and it retains that.
I now want to talk about March 4th of 2022. For Corey Richens' phone, did you look at movement and device events for Corey Richens' phone for March 4th of 2022?
Yes.
We could show Exhibit 3-18D. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Did you help create it?
Yes.
Does it fairly and accurately depict the raw data that you reviewed from Corey Richens' phone?
Yes.
Move to admit 3-18D.
3-18D is admitted.
So walk us through, there's some different things here, and maybe you want to step down to the screen to show the jury what these different markers on this exhibit mean.
Sure. So we have a device event. The first thing we have for a device event on that day or in that morning is 3:06:50, the phone is unlocked. That unlock is for 28 seconds. At 3:07:04, there's a speaker activation. What that is there's an audio output route. There's audio routing in a device through the system files, and it detects when the speaker is activated. So anytime the phone is using the external speaker, you should get a system file report or an audio output report on that, and it'll tell you that the speaker's in use. Okay. At 3:08:10, the activity sensor picks up that a device travels 243 feet. So the 3:08:10 is the beginning of that trip. It's not the end of that trip. And at 3:10:37, the phone is unlocked for 1 minute 40 seconds. At 3:15:59, the phone is unlocked again for 37 seconds. At 3:19:07, the phone is unlocked once more for 28 seconds. And at 3:19:39 a.m., the phone is unlocked briefly for 3 seconds. We have a timestamp for a 911 call at 3:21:05. We have a receiver activation. We have a device, another activity movement, meaning the device is reporting that it had moved again. And then at 3:22, there is a receiver activation. And a receiver activation is when you hold the phone, a phone or a device up to your ear, say presumably your face, to make a phone call. There's a proximity sensor inside the device that activates the receiver, and so there's an activation there at 3:22:12.
Thank you. You talked about the receiver activation. Is it possible that a call can start before the receiver is being used?
Yes.
How does that work?
If you dial a number, for instance, the receiver activation only reports when you place the phone up to your. It has to detect the proximity sensor.
So it's a movement.
It's a movement, yes.
Did you also pull or look at data from Corey Richens' phone from the morning of March 4th, 2022?
Yes.
We could show the witness exhibit 3-19. Do you recognize this?
I do.
What is it?
These are 3 thumbnails, PNG files recovered from Ms. Richens' device.
Does 319 accurately depict the raw data that you analyzed from Ms. Richens' phone?
Yes.
Move to admit 3-19.
Judge, may I have one near the witness? Oh, maybe approach him.
Mr. Burnett, please proceed.
Looking at Exhibit 3-19, you testified these were located on, or in the analysis of Corey Richens' phone. Where specifically in that data were these images located?
They were in the image folder. They were in the image files.
What does, describe what the image file is? Is that a camera roll, or just more description about what an image file is?
So as it relates to these are PNG files. They were located in the image portion of, so if you open the extraction and you're analyzing it and you look under images, these are actually found in the timeline as well. Like, you can just see them in there. But when you click into those, there's information that's presented to you, and it will tell you the file path of where these belong, or where they were last seen by the device. And so in the image file, there's a pathway. And so these images were last seen in a SMS, so a text, like an iMessage, photo search section is the pathway for those, meaning it was related to the messaging system inside the device.
I'll move to admit 3-19.
Mr. Owens.
If we could just lay a little bit more foundation in terms of which people in the text message chain you indicated that they were in the.
I'm not sure that's what he said, but
Or if we could get clarification on that. I was kind
Sure.
of lost.
Mr. Burnett, ask another question about I heard the words photo search related to the SMS function.
Right, so let me be a little more precise with my questions.
Okay.
Were these part of a text message?
At some point, yes.
Do you know if that text message was incoming or outgoing from Ms. Richens' device?
No.
Why not?
Because the original images and the source of these images was deleted from the phone. It no longer exists on the phone. These 3 PNG files are what we call ghost or orphaned images. When an image is, like when a text is built and you add images to it, or when you receive images and you click those, it creates a print of it, like basically a thumbnail of it. Now, if you send that text or receive that text, and then you delete it from your system, and then the database overwrites it because of time has passed and there's no more room in that file, you'll never know the source of that text, whether it was incoming or outgoing, who sent it, that type of thing. All you're going to see is the remnant of that. And that's what these are, the small PNG files.
Again, move to admit 3-19.
If we were in your objection, at this point, it seems like it's what Mr. Cortez found, the remnant, something.
I understand defendant's objection. It is respectfully overruled. You can explore these topics during cross-examination. State's Exhibit 3-19 is admitted.
We could publish, please. So these are the images you were just describing.
Yes.
And you described that they were found in the image files as a remnant of possibly a text message.
Right. I wouldn't say a remnant, it's a thumbnail. I mean,
A
it's
thumbnail.
a PNG file. I mean, it's a thumbnail, yes.
From the data that you analyzed, were you able to tell if these images were accessed by Ms. Richens' phone?
They were accessed by the system in her phone, yes.
How do you know that?
It gives an accessed indication in the file path, in the data and the extraction. It'll say when the device was accessed, and it will give a timestamp.
When we say accessed, what does that mean?
It just means when the file, or when that image was either selected or viewed, or, I mean, it's accessed. Yeah,
But it means it was selected or viewed by the person with that device.
correct.
You mentioned there was a timestamp. When were these images accessed on Corey Richens' phone?
8:29 a.m. on March 4th.
Was the phone also manipulated in some way during that same time?
There was activity on that device, yes.
What do you mean activity?
There was Prior to that, at 8:28, there was an unlock event that lasted the duration of this access point. There was the device event log shows that the device was actually turned into portrait view and then turned into landscape view, turned back into portrait view until ultimately it was locked again. I think the lock was at 8:34, but I'm not 100% sure on the time.
So those, the turning of the phone, the unlocking of the phone, those correlate with the time that these images were accessed.
Yeah, around the same time, yeah, during the same unlock event.
So now I want to turn your attention to the post-April 13th, 2022 phones
Okay.
from Corey Richens. We know from, Scott, if you could put up 3-37D, please. And you can publish that to the jury. It's been admitted. So I'm referencing this, the date on here when the silver phone and the blue iPhone were being used by Ms. Richens.
Right.
Did you look at, when you were analyzing the blue phone, did you find web searches during April, that timeframe the phone was used, that were relevant to this case?
Yes.
Scott, if you could show the witness 3-26D. Do you recognize this?
I do.
Are these web searches that were located on that blue iPhone?
Yes.
If you could show Scott 3-29D. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
These also web searches that were located on the blue iPhone?
Yes.
And then Scott, also 3-30D. Same question, is this a web search that was located on that blue iPhone?
Yeah, this is web history.
A web history?
Yes, which meaning the difference is one thing is a search, the other is a site visit, a website visit.
And do these three exhibits, 3-26D, 3-29D, and 3-30D, accurately depict the raw data that you analyzed for that blue iPhone?
Yes.
I'll move to admit those three.
Mr. Ramos?
We don't have an objection to these searches we have an objection as to how they're going to be presented, meaning that redaction. My understanding is that Mr. Courtroom did not make those redactions. So I'd like to approach and present a proposal on
Sure.
how to
Yeah.
submit it.
So, it was 26, 29, and 30, correct, Ms. Sherbanek?
Yes.
states 3-26D, 29D, and 30D are admitted. We're going to publish those. I have an instruction for the jury. Scott, could you go to 26 for me for a moment? Ladies and gentlemen, as you look at 26, 29, and 30D, you'll see these blue blobs that have no text behind them. Those are intentional redactions of information that has no relevance to this case. Please do not speculate about what was behind the blue bob. It's irrelevant. Just ignore it. Ms. Shervanek, please continue.
So as we were talking about these three exhibits that we will go through in turn, you mentioned web searches versus site visits. What
Yes.
are we looking at here?
These are web searches.
What's the difference?
So when you type a search into your device and to presumably search for something on the internet, when you type it in and you hit send to search, it logs the search that you had typed into your device.
And so someone could search for any multitude of things. We're all aware of that, but maybe not if the results come up. If they actually click on a result, that would be a site.
Right. We normally see, analysts will normally see corresponding web histories related to those searches. So if you were looking for a type of vehicle, you would have a search for a type of vehicle, like a 2026 Toyota 4Runner. You're looking to buy one. And then right behind that, you'll see web history, meaning what happened was you typed in that search field, it popped up, and then there's some suggested websites for you to go to based on your search. And if you click through to those will show as a web history, meaning a site that you actually visited.
And so what are we looking at here?
Right here, we're just looking at the search function. These are just searches that were inputted into the device.
And this is in that blue iPhone, right?
In the blue iPhone, yes.
Scott, if we could do the same expanding for each page of 2-26D so the jury can see the different entries. So we saw some web searches on 3-26D that related to remotely wiping an iPhone or remotely deleting text messages.
Yes.
Was the blue iPhone being used by Corey Richens in the time after her original phone, that white iPhone, was seized by police?
Yes.
Scott, if we could put up 3-29D. So when we're seeing this activity on the phone, does that indicate a website visit?
Yes.
Again, this indicates a website visit.
Yes.
Scott, if we could move to 3-30D. And these are the website visits.
Yes, correct.
Just a moment. Sir, those were all my questions for you at the moment. I think the defense may have some as well.
Thank you.
Still some water? Need some more?
I need a little more. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, sir.
Zach, can we get a refill for the witness, please?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, please have a seat. Thank you. Mr. Ramos,
Thank you,
please
Judge.
proceed.
Mr. Courtroom, how are you?
I'm doing great. Mr. Ramos, how are you?
Good seeing you again.
Good to see you.
You know what? Let's just dive right into the GIFs,
Oh,
the
okay.
PNG files.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Sure.
Could we pull up those that exhibit? And just for the witness, Judge. So I have this document here. It's been marked as States Exhibit 340. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
Now, when you were testifying earlier, you informed the jury that it was all the image files that you received, correct?
Well, just for this representation is just for that, for the 4th.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. So what we're looking at are
It's part of
images-
that, yes.
Images, data files for that day. Specifically, I think there was a range. It was for the March 4th, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, in that, there were 39 images, right?
Correct.
Now, of those images, obviously, we've seen 3 of them, okay?
Yes.
So I want to focus on those, okay?
Okay.
All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up those 3 images that you've seen,
Okay.
okay? And I'm going to show you the MAC, right?
Okay.
Which is the modified access created.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. We can pull that out for him. Now, could you see those on the left-hand side there?
I do, yes.
Okay. One second. That's what he can see, right? Okay. Sorry, I have a smaller screen here, so I just want to
Okay.
make sure we're on the same page.
All right, yeah.
Okay. On the left-hand side, can you tell me, or tell the jury, if all of these images were accessed on the same date and time,
Yes, they
down
were.
to the second?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that these are .png files, okay?
Yes.
Now, if we look to the right, there is what appears to not be a GIF, I guess, or it is a thumbnail, but it is of a, how would you describe it? What's the picture? What's that
Where-
picture of?
I don't, which one are we looking at?
The one on the right-hand side, it looks like a house almost in the distance.
Oh, yeah, yeah, there's a photo of a piece of property, it looks like, yes.
Are you familiar with that property?
I can't tell what it is from the photo.
Fair enough.
No.
Now, can you just look at the time and date?
Yes,
Okay. Does that match the .pmg files that we saw?
it does.
Okay.
Yes.
To the second.
It does.
Okay.
Yes.
So, just practically speaking, okay,
Mhm.
we can take that down. Do you find that odd?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's walk through it.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk through an example for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then I want you to explain it to me.
Okay.
Okay. Now, in fact, let's do this. Come on, Phil. So, if I pull up my phone right now, I just unlocked it.
Mhm.
Now, I'm going to send a text message, okay,
Okay.
to my son,
All right.
okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and add a thumbnail,
A photo, yeah.
photo,
Uh-huh.
okay, and I'll do a GIF, okay.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for one. I found one, so I just clicked on that.
Okay.
Okay. Now I just clicked on another one,
Okay.
and I just clicked on another one.
Yes.
Okay. Now I'm going to add also a picture, okay, just for my folder.
Okay.
Okay. Now I've selected those 4 items, okay,
Mhm.
and I'm about to send it.
Yes.
Okay. So if you were to get my phone and put it in your system, extract it, and you analyze it, obviously it would be a text message.
It would, yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Now, the modified access created, would all of those be the same date, time, down to the second?
They could be,
Could be.
yes.
There's a lot of reasons for that.
Yes.
Okay? For example, the type of iOS I have,
That could affect it, yes.
the type of extraction that's done.
I don't know if the extraction type would determine that or not.
Logical versus physical.
I still don't think, in the way these images were in the database,
Okay.
I don't think that would be, accurate.
So then let's look at the database.
Okay.
Where exactly were these images?
So they were in the database. That is, there's a pathway in there.
Yeah, let's pull that up
Yeah,
again,
so that's
please.
where they're at.
Okay.
Okay, so they are in an SMS photo database, essentially. All right?
So is it up there now for you?
It is not yet.
Okay. Now, the source file, is that what we're referring to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So I see here has a bunch of numbers, underscore files, full, .zip, right?
Yeah.
Private, var, mobile, library, cache,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay. Talk to me about cache.
All right, so, caches or folders, they're just places where the system stores data.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if I were to go to my phone right now, I could find those .png files, that image I just sent, right? If I go directly to my text message, correct?
You could, yes. Yep.
Right, because I just
Yeah.
sent it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, here in this file, this doesn't lead you straight to a text message.
Correct.
Okay. And so it is, and I think what you said in your direct, I think it was the system, I think is the word, you were very specific. The system in her phone, I logged it. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Those are databases.
Correct.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So fair to say, and you indicated in your testimony early, so I think I'm right, that there are certain things in our phones that are there, but we can't necessarily access them.
Correct.
We need a process to go kind of below the surface.
Right.
Okay. Now, in this case, these .pngs, you had 39 of them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you only selected 3.
Yes.
Okay. Did you select those? I shouldn't put.
I provided what I provided. Like,
And-
I provided the entire extraction report, and then I provided the part of the extraction report for that day.
Okay, so
Yes.
you provided the full 39.
Yes.
Okay, understood. Now, I want to go back to that other image, okay?
Okay.
Now, these have the exact same date, the exact same time, down to the second, okay? Are they tied together?
I don't know that.
You don't.
No,
In fact, it's impossible to know.
it really is.
Now, in what you do, there is, we heard the word a lot, analysis, right?
Yes.
You analyze,
Right.
okay? Now, we know that you can, we get the information from GradeKey, it's extracted, then we put it in Celebrite. The analysis comes in reviewing the report, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, and you're also very careful in your direct testimony that it's not necessarily, I don't think you use these words, but it's not infallible, right? This Celebrite report.
Correct.
Okay. In fact, Celebrite itself recommends its operators, is that the word?
Yes.
To make sure that they validate their data,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of reasons for that.
Yes.
For example, you do have a hardware that you use, correct?
Yes.
You want to validate it's working.
Correct.
And then also the software that you use, you want to validate that that's working.
Yes.
Okay. Now, this might be an oversimplification, so.
That's okay.
But I'm trying to process it, okay? A lot of money went into making those phones.
Yes.
A lot of the data and how it works all of it's proprietary, correct?
Yes.
Now, in a way, Celebrite is trying to hack the phone to get the information.
Doesn't really hack it, but it parses the data in there.
It parses
But
the data.
Yeah.
Okay. And when it spits out, that's not a common term. When the report gives you this information, you can't take it as God's truth.
There's context to a lot of stuff. So, yeah, I mean, I can take it as God's truth, quote unquote. That is how the system files within the are constructed.
You can take it that's how Celebrite put the data or extracted the data.
Correct.
Now, you've heard, I suspect, of the epoch time.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you could explain to the jury epoch time in terms of digital forensics.
I cannot.
Cannot.
No.
Why not?
I don't have enough familiarization with it. I just don't.
Okay.
Not on the stand.
All right. Well, is it fair to say that, let's look at this created and modified and accessed, that date and time.
Okay.
Are you aware that that time isn't actually how it's stored on the phones?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Sure. So the epoch time, if you're not familiar with it, it's the number of seconds that has elapsed since January 1st,
Question, Your
1970.
Honor.
Are you familiar with that?
I am.
Pause
Oh, sorry,
for a
Judge.
minute.
I
What was the
apologize.
objection?
He said he couldn't testify about what epoch time is.
So
So
foundation.
foundation.
I think you're laying foundation.
I am,
right?
Judge.
Let's see where this goes. Overruled. If
So-
you would, I interrupted you, gentlemen, if you would ask that question.
Absolutely, Judge. So the epoch time, and I'm just going to, I'll explain it how I know it, and if it refreshes your recollection, great. If not, we'll move on.
Okay.
Okay. So epoch time is the number of seconds that has elapsed since January 1st, 1970. Okay?
Yes.
Don't know why they did it this way, but that is how the phones have registered the information. Or were you aware of that?
Yes, and I don't know the technical aspects of it, but it's a programming reason.
Correct. And because, we're not going to do the math together.
No, we're not.
We rely, or in this case, you were relying on Celebrite to do that.
Correct.
Correct. Now, you also, a way to validate your data, because things even as, little as time, You also have the ability to cross-reference the data that you have in your phone, in the Celebrite report, excuse me, okay, the extraction, with other information, correct?
Correct.
So for example, the call logs, the text messages that you sent out, right, that's presented in the extraction.
Yes.
You could then compare it to the call detail records,
Correct.
right? And you
Yes.
could say, oh yeah, you know what, this matches up.
Yes.
Okay. And you do that in a way to make sure that the information you're getting is correct.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when we look at this 4 images, the 3, I'm going to call them the what's been admitted as the 3 PNGs, okay, which we all saw, or just call them GIFs, even though I know they're not right now.
Right.
But just so everybody's aware.
Okay.
And then we have this photo that appears to be of a home, okay?
Right.
Now, you have records and you have call logs for March 4th, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you can see who all communicated that day,
Correct.
correct? And you could also get that through call detail records, correct?
Not always.
But the call detail records you indicated mark the time that a call was sent out and a text was sent out.
If it hits the carrier. So if it's a Wi-Fi call or if it's like iMessage, like iPhone to iPhone, iMessaging,
Okay.
it can route around it and it won't hit the call detail record.
Perfect. So you had on March 4th at least some information in what you received from the extraction report that some calls were made, some text messages were sent from Ms. Richens' phone.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with that information, you can, if you wanted to, you can attempt to see whether this image was sent or received by somebody, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You did not do that.
I did do that.
Okay, and who did it come back to?
I don't know. It was not available in the system file.
Okay.
Would you like, can I explain why?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Why I think, based on,
Yeah.
There is, from the time this event occurred on March 4th till the time the phone was seized on April 13th, I believe, 2022, there's an extended period of time that has passed in data terms, okay? So the reason why going back to the source on this is challenging is if the text source of this, incoming or outgoing, is missing, you can sometimes go into the data file, like from the timeline and from the extraction, you can go into the database information. You can go in there and you can look at that to see if that information is contained in the database still. The problem is that data is overwritten. Once it's deleted, the database then overwrites it. So then what happens is the source in there goes away. There's small amounts of data that are in there.
Like traces.
Well, like PNGs.
Yeah.
Okay, that are still there. But like I kind of explained with the data space, think of it as a,
Oh, one sec. Is that like the garbage collection?
yeah, where we're talking
Yeah.
about that, right? So so deletions. So think of that as, think of that deletion file as like the trash can in your house, like in your kitchen, okay? So you delete things, you throw things into that. Well, eventually it gets full, and you got to take it out to the curb, and the garbage man comes and gets it, and it's gone,
Right.
okay? So the more you use it, the more you have to take it out,
So
okay?
let me stop you there.
Yes.
Because what I'm asking about is, I understand that you tried.
I'm getting there, I promise.
Oh, no, real quick.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. So those databases store that information for a while, okay? Then what happens is that text information, that the text threads, they're stored in a different place than these. What happens is every, I don't know, 30-ish days, don't hold me to that, but it's roughly, this iOS system performs a vacuum. And what it does is it takes deleted information that's in there that it no longer thinks it needs for the system files, and it vacuums it out, and it basically takes it out to the curb, and then it goes away. So to answer your question, I did attempt to look for the source for this, but there is none of that data remains in the device or in the databases at all. All I have is these, what I referred to previously as orphaned images.
Or ghost?
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, and I understand that.
Okay.
My question is, there are other things you can do outside of that. Obviously, that's your first one, right? You
Right.
try to go straight to the source. For whatever reason, it's not there.
Okay.
But there are other things you can do to see if you can locate whether they're tied together or where they could have gone, correct?
Correct.
So you indicated that at a minimum, this is on the mobile messaging system, right?
Yes.
It says mobile SMS, correct?
Yes.
So you know that at one point it was sent or received to somebody from Ms. Richens' phone.
Yes.
Okay, so you have contacts in her phone, correct?
I do.
And if you had call detail records, for example, or just in her log, or any number of things, right?
Right.
You can go to those and see if the individual on the other end maybe did still have that message, correct?
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially. Now, you didn't do that in this case.
Are we talking physically contacting these individuals and?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So I agree with that statement,
Okay? That you didn't do it.
that I didn't do it.
Okay.
But I would also add to that my role in this case is as an analyst, and I provide the information, and then any following, any update or a follow-up investigation is.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that when you were asked to pull those images on that day, I imagine you explained all of this to the prosecution,
I did, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And you explained to them that, hey, you know what? These did pop up.
Yep.
39 of these.
And to your point and your question, I did go through call detail records. I did go through those types of things to see if there was a corresponding communication that would be contained in the call detail records that matches this.
Absolutely. And you did this because that is your job,
Correct.
right? You're trying to say, hey, I have this orphan ghost.png. I'm going to try to find its home,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And hey, prosecution, I know you're going to use this just so you know, I can't tell you who received it, correct?
Correct.
I can't tell you who sent it.
Correct.
I can't tell you if it was viewed by Ms. Richens.
Correct.
Correct?
Correct.
But I can tell you that at that time and date, the system in her phone, as you said, registered it.
Correct.
Now, for example, if we were to find out that the image there, right, of the home, okay, if we were to find that other recipient, right,
Okay.
and in that recipient's cell phone, it had the day prior, okay, so March 3rd,
Okay.
say around 5 o'clock, okay,
Okay.
and that individual sent the image, okay,
Okay.
and then Ms. Richens opened her text message with that home there, okay? And maybe those GIFs or those .png, those thumbnails were attached. It could have been that the computer registered as it accessed it as it was opening up, correct?
Correct, because it would
Okay.
create a thumbnail.
Correct.
Yes.
Now, like you said, we don't know that, right?
Correct. We don't.
Okay. Now, I'd like to move on to the web searches. Okay?
Yes.
A lot of those web searches, as we saw, have no dates,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
And we do see some of them when they were searched, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Are you familiar with, I think it's called like lifestyle analysis?
No.
Okay. Did you perform any searches around the time, on those that you can see on the web searches, that you can see the date that they were searched, okay? Did you do any searches on Google or any validation to see what, if anything, was relevant to what was being pulled up?
No. Like, did I perform the searches myself? And
Not
then-
not the searches. So, for example, are you familiar with a certain Real Housewife in Salt Lake City
Recently?
in
Yes.
April 2022?
Oh, no.
Okay. Are you aware of somebody maybe being sentenced around that time?
No.
Okay. And now that would provide context to you, correct?
I could.
Yeah. Because right now, just as we see the searches, we don't know why that would be a search, correct?
I don't know
We have-
content or can't speculate on anything
You
like
can't speculate.
No.
You shouldn't speculate.
No.
You also can't tell me, with the information that you have, who actually did the search,
Correct.
right? It was done on the phone.
It was done on the device.
You could tell us the location of the phone, possibly, when those searches were done.
Correct.
You could tell us possibly the Wi-Fi that it was connected to, if it was connected to one.
Correct.
Okay. But you can't tell us who searched it.
Correct.
Now, you can't tell us if we were at, if this happened on the 4th, let's go back to the GIF images, okay?
Okay.
On that day, at that time, are you aware, were you told that there were other people in that home?
I'm aware of that.
You are aware of that?
Yes.
Okay, and so did you reach out to those, or I guess that's not your job. You could not tell us who opened that phone at that time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, I do want to talk to you about something you just brought up. It was you said, the Wi-Fi. You said not necessarily because it could be an iMessage, right?
Correct.
Was one option, and then the other one was that it was connected or sent through Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the file path on here indicates that it is a mobile SMS, which went through iMessage, and
Right.
iMessage iPhone to iPhone typically will not hit a carrier, so it won't be in a call detail reg.
Right. But that also is helpful to you, right? Because you're able to see, of all the people that she could have possibly contacted that day, you could then narrow it to like who has an iPhone.
Correct.
Okay. And so because of the communication, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm guessing here, between iPhone and iPhone, it's a different connection, correct? It makes it easier to communicate?
It's a typical Wi-Fi connection, so it's not a different connection.
Okay.
It's just a different system, or it's the same. They're on the same system. It goes through Apple servers versus the carrier.
So for example, can we pull up the Mr. Richens' mobile activity on the night of March 3rd? Do you recall that state's exhibit where you laid out a graph of all the text messages that were sent from Mr. Richens to a Pedro Sonora,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I think it's up on your screen now.
Yes.
Okay. When we were talking about this, one of the last questions was about the text from Raul at 10:18.
Okay.
And I believe Ms. Shervanack asked if it had been read, or if you could tell if it had been read, and you answered it very curiously, which is, I'm left to wonder, I just want clarification, whether or not you could actually tell if it was read, or whether there just wasn't enough data to determine whether it had been read.
I didn't see any. I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just don't remember the data.
No,
line
and that's why I'm
specifically.
following up.
Yep.
That's why I'm following
Yep.
up.
There's no response. The indication was that it was not read.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here, we see all these text messages, correct?
Yes.
And we just talked about the iMessage that you just discussed. That
Yes.
sometimes that won't register on call detail records, for example, right?
Correct.
Now, that's different than this, right?
That is different than this.
Okay. You would expect an iMessage to show up here?
Yes, because this is from the phone's timeline itself.
Correct.
These are system file.
Correct. Just want to make sure. Could we take that one down, please? Thank you. Okay. So the movement of the iPhone. Let's start with Eric's.
Okay.
You had indicated that you had done how did you phrase it? You had actually compared it. It said you had done some sort of analysis with his overall use in terms of his activity on his watch, right?
Yes.
And that those 87 minutes, that gap, was was off, I guess.
I don't think I said it was off.
What were your
I think I
words?
said it was atypical.
Atypical.
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you please walk us through what exactly you did to get to that conclusion?
Oh, so those are spot checks. Those are looking at random locations within his activity. I did not take the totality of his activity and compare it day to day to one another. Those were spot checks and looking at the device patterns in his phone to see if there was large types of movement. Now, there are sometimes large spaces of inactivity, but not in this context.
So what spot checks did you do?
Just periodically throughout the timeline, through that activity timeline, just to look at and see if his activity indicates that his device stays in motion, and to what extent day to day.
Over how many days?
Oh God, I probably looked at maybe 20 days or so, just random days.
And how did you log that?
I didn't report it. I just made a mental note of it.
Just a mental note?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was the largest deviation?
I don't know that, sir.
What was the smallest deviation?
I don't know.
How did you come up to the fact that it was atypical?
Well, it's, like I said, in context, right? So there's communications with presumably Ms. Richens on the device. And
Wait,
there
Mr.
is-
Richens.
I'm sorry, Mr. Richens on the device with Ms. Richens, right? And so there was a.
So right now, just so you're clear, we're talking about the physical activity.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, physical activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in conjunction with that, there are text messages, there are other things going on around this time, indicating in the other exhibits, I don't know if we published them, but there's some discussion about what Mr. Richens was doing that day around
Sure, so like this
11
one,
a.m.
so this one specifically, on February 14th, 2022.
Yes,
It was, you indicated that the gap was atypical.
yes, and maybe I didn't put that in good context.
Sure, put it in
But
context
in
now.
context with what was going on at the time, it is not typical, based on what I looked at, for Mr. Richens to like lay down and take a nap, for instance, in the middle of the day.
So you could tell that he took a nap from this?
I cannot, but he indicated he was going to in the text. That's what I'm talking about in context.
Okay, so there's a bit of confirmation bias there, you would agree?
I would agree with that, and there's probably a little speculation there
Yeah.
on that. The thing with
But
device activity is you only know if the device is moving or not.
Right, there is a bit of speculation, like you said, and we shouldn't do that.
Probably not.
Let's talk about, you can take that down. Let's talk about the activity sensor data, okay? Not in context of what was registered,
Okay.
but in the context of you as an analyst, okay?
Okay.
Now, we talked about how what you do is digital forensics,
Yes.
and that's considered a forensic science.
Okay. Yes.
Do you disagree with that?
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yes.
Okay. And part of that field, right, is what we, I guess, grew up knowing as the scientific method, right?
Yes.
And so, for example, here we identify a phone, an electronic device, okay? And then we go from identifying that to preserving it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we either put in a Faraday bag or we plug it in and we make sure that the hash values and the hex code and everything matches.
Correct.
And we do that so that when you get the information, you know that it's the cleanest version possible, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then, once we preserve it, we then collect the information, which would be the extraction,
Yes.
right? And then we examine it, okay?
Yes.
And then we get into the analysis,
Yes.
okay? So we examined it, and I'm going to go off of the activity sensors, okay?
Okay.
Activity monitors.
Yeah.
So we identified it, we collected it, we examined it. Now let's talk about the analysis of it,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, this is a huge moment in the testimony. The expert just said something that immediately raises red flags. Hundreds of text messages and large portions of web history were missing from the phone during a critical time period. In criminal investigations, patterns of mass deletion can become extremely significant. It doesn't automatically prove wrongdoing, but prosecutors often argue it may suggest someone was trying to hide communications.
Tell us what you did to validate the information about the activity sensor data. And we'll start specifically with the distance traveled. And this could be for either Mr. Richens or Miss Richens' phone, okay?
In general?
Yeah, what did you do in this case for either Mr. Richens or Miss Richens, okay, to validate the information that was presented to you in Celebrite regarding traveled distance or distance traveled?
So the distance traveled is just reported by the device based on the sensors that are contained within the device.
Correct.
Yeah.
So then what did you do to validate that that information was correct?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Okay.
I did nothing to validate that information, like outside of that.
Okay, so for example, that information that was there, it indicates, let's pull up Miss Richens if we wouldn't mind, the state's exhibit where it shows, yeah, this one right here.
Okay.
Okay. So, can we publish this one, Judge? It's been admitted. So let's look at that 3:08:10 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the 74.14 meters, that comes straight from the extraction report, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the 243 feet, I imagine that's something that you converted?
Yes.
Okay. And using what?
Just a Google conversion.
Google conversion.
Yeah.
Okay. And in this device travels, we know that it was 74.14 meters that was registered on the device.
Correct.
Okay. Now, what kind of iPhone was this?
I believe it was an iPhone 12.
Okay. And do you recall what iOS system it had?
I do not.
Okay. Now, did you, for example, going back to, so I can explain myself, did you grab your phone, a phone, and measure the distance from point X to point Y, put the phone in your pocket, walk over there, knowing the distance, walk back, plug in the phone, and see whether the Celebrite data that you received for what you just did in that controlled environment matched what was being produced?
No.
Okay. Did you purchase or have access to the iPhone make and model of Ms. Richens
No.
on either of her phones that she had?
No.
Did you have access to Mr. Richens' iPhone make or model?
No.
Okay. And you did not do any tests, correct?
Correct.
So these numbers right here that we're seeing, you are speculating that is correct.
I'm not speculating. I'm relying on the data being correct inside the device.
But you have no way of knowing that.
Well, I mean, the examples you're giving are not 100%, wouldn't 100% verify this anyway, I don't think. I think you would have to use the exact device under the exact conditions.
Yeah.
In any way. For one.
Yeah, so let's
And-
go with that. So
And two, and
hold on
which
real
I
quick.
didn't do.
What-
Right,
and-
which I didn't do.
Real quick, go on. So let's be clear. We understand you didn't do it. You did have access or could gain access to the environment, correct?
I could.
Okay,
Yes.
so then let's go from there. There are body cams in this case. Were you aware of that?
Yes.
Okay. Have you been to the Richens home?
No.
Okay. Have you seen those body cams?
I've seen some images of the body cams. Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen videos of the body cams?
Very few.
Okay. Do you recall a video where one of Miss Richens' phones is handed from one of the EMS to an officer, and then the officer walks over all the way to where Miss Richens is to provide her the phone?
No.
Okay. Had you been aware of that, or had that, rather, I'll be fair to you had that been told to you by the prosecutors or law enforcement? Having that controlled environment, having this data, having access to the same phone, downloading the same iOS, could you have run a test to see if it was similar? And specifically referring to the 41 meters that's indicated there.
I could,
Okay.
but I mean, your statement just actually opened up why there's a
It
device
tends-
movement later on.
My questions sometimes tend to do that. Okay, so now let's talk about even the phone unlock lock. Okay, that seems pretty intuitive.
Yeah, the locking.
The locking and unlocking.
Yes.
So, for example, when we look at the 319, I'm sorry, can we go back to the other one? I don't know if it was me. Thank you. At 319.39 at the bottom, phone unlocked 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So it was unlocked 3 seconds. Does that mean it was locked at 3 seconds?
Yes.
Okay. And then, to be honest, this is just out of curiosity. Why don't we show an unlock before the 321?
Oh no, because that 3-night that. Oh, I don't know.
Sometimes just things happen, right?
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, we could take that one down. Now, going back to the web searches, okay, just briefly. This was all after, to your knowledge, I imagine you're aware that this was all after, all these searches were done after Ms. Richens knew she was under investigation, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And I imagine at that point, and if not, you've probably been made aware of it now, and we've all seen during that January to March timeframe that you mentioned that there was a massive deletions between in her phone, correct? Do you remember that?
Yes.
As well as Miss Lauber's phone.
Yes.
You know that they were purchasing oxys, correct?
Objection, Your Honor. Lack of foundation.
Are you aware of what Miss Richens was doing during that time, either then or now?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you're a former law enforcement officer.
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever deal in narcotics?
No.
Okay. You're aware of them?
I am.
Okay. You're aware of purchases?
I am.
You're aware of the criminal mind, perhaps?
I am.
And you're aware that most individuals dealing in drugs might want to delete their information?
Yes.
And like you said, context matters, right?
Context does matter.
Bear with me. Are you familiar with Bayesian inferences?
No.
Okay. Or probability statements?
No.
I'm getting there, I promise. Just want to make sure. Oh, can we pull up the call record for Miss Richens? I think it was the 101, 110 minute one, please. Do you remember this?
I do. Yes, sir.
Okay. To be honest, I don't know why you were asked the questions, but this was in March. Could you zoom that in?
Sorry,
Yeah.
those.
No, yeah, I know.
Those things are.
Zoom it in when you find it, please. Oh, don't worry about it. It's fine. You remember what we're discussing, right?
I think I do, yes.
Yeah. If you can find the date, that'd be great. I believe it was March 4th or 8th.
And, Your Honor, this exhibit on the screen is not March.
It's February. This says February 11th. It's 3-6, whatever.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you.
We're on March
We're on March.
1st.
Is it March 2nd?
So, let's be clear, for the record, the jury can't see what you and the witness.
No, we understand. I'm just, I want to make sure that Katie finds it first,
Okay,
and then we'll.
let me know when you're ready.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, if we could publish it, and we could see the 101 minutes. Now, the date is March 2nd, correct?
Correct.
And you indicated that you reached out and you found out that that was the IRS?
Yeah, I Google searched the number.
Okay.
I know the number.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna.
It ends in 1040. I mean, it's.
Well, and it's a month before tax season.
Yeah, correct.
So context-wise,
Okay.
not unusual, right?
Yeah. Not unusual.
Yeah. We could take that down. I do want to make sure did you come on in May 2020? When were you brought on?
Retained. I was retained
Yes.
in May of 2023.
May of 2023.
Yes, sir.
Now, you indicated that Verizon holds locations only for 12 months.
Correct.
Now, Ms. Richens' phone was seized on April 12th, correct? I'm
think
sorry, April 2022.
Yeah. Yeah, April 13th, I think. Yeah, of 2022.
Of 2022.
Correct.
Now, so by the time you had come on, that information was no longer available.
The records were still available, but records with location data were not.
Correct.
Tower data.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. And to your knowledge, that's never been obtained, correct?
Correct.
Okay. We went through a lot of those PowerPoints indicating where Ms. Lauber
Yes.
was, and the communication she had, I think, with Corey on the right-hand side, and
Yes.
then kind of following.
Yes.
I think you made it clear. Those aren't their actual GPS locations, correct?
Correct.
Okay, those are cell towers.
Those are the tower locations, yes.
Right. So every time that the jury sees that little image going with Mr. Crozier,
Right.
those are all cell towers.
Right. You're seeing the tower that device is communicating with.
Correct.
At that time.
And so there was a time during your direct that you indicated that I think it was Miss Lauber was near the Richens home.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
To be clear, it's not that she was there.
Her device was.
Her device was connected to a cell tower.
Yes.
Okay. Now, with all this information that you have, the call details records, the cell tower information, the Carmen's phone, right? All of that, were you ever able to see, or were you asked, whether she went to 75 East, 100 North, and Midway?
I believe I was asked to look at that.
Okay, and did you find anything?
The data is not that specific.
Okay.
It's not GPS location, it's tower location.
Right.
So,
Right. Okay, we talked about those. Okay, I think I'm almost done. I think I am done. Oh. Two things. Biometric data.
Okay.
Let's go back to the activity sensor data. Did you go into anywhere in the extraction to locate the height Ms. Richens put in her phone?
I don't recall seeing that.
Whether her weight,
I don't recall seeing that either.
the stride.
I don't recall seeing that.
Did
either
you
as
do
well.
that or recall seeing that in Mr. Richens?
No.
Okay. These SMS previews that we had been discussing,
Yes.
are you aware of the different settings that one can do on their phone to either show a preview or not show a preview?
No,
You're not familiar with those?
I don't think so.
Okay. Do you have an iPhone?
I don't.
Okay. We disagree on a lot of things then. Fair. So you wouldn't have done anything there to check, or did you do anything to check her settings?
I did not.
Okay. So you don't know if on her settings in her iPhone there was an automatic play previews?
No.
Okay. One second. May I have the white noise, Judge? Okay. For clarification purposes.
Okay.
Because as I was talking about the web searches, I did not specify, and I want to make sure we get it clear. Those came from the blue phone.
Correct.
Okay. So those were after the April 13th, April 12th, when the white phone was seized, correct?
Correct.
After Ms. Richens obviously had been under investigation,
Correct.
correct? After her, I'm not sure if you're aware, after her home was searched.
I don't know anything about
Don't know
that.
about that. Okay, but it was on the blue phone.
Yes.
None of these web searches were on the other phones, correct?
Correct.
That's all I have. Thanks so much.
Thank
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks.
Ms. Sherbanek, within the scope of cross?
Sorry. A lot of sticky notes.
A few things I want to follow up with you on. We talked a little bit about CDR data and Wi-Fi, maybe why things wouldn't show up on Wi-Fi.
Sure.
What type of messaging can happen over Wi-Fi?
Most app messaging happens over Wi-Fi. So third-party apps like WhatsApp, Kik, Signal, those types of apps. But also, again, iMessage.
And so when talking about those 3 image files located on Ms. Richens' phone from March 4th, 2022 at 8:29 a.m., we don't know all of the information about those because it was deleted.
Correct.
If it hadn't been deleted, we'd know more.
We might.
Talking about the web searches on the blue phone, when you looked through and analyzed that blue phone, nothing indicated to you that that blue phone was being used by someone else.
Correct.
I want to talk about Exhibit 3-14D. And this is the device, Scott, if we could put that one up.
One moment, please. The witness has it. Do you want to publish it?
Please.
Okay. Go ahead.
Now, you made this exhibit in conjunction with the context of what was happening during this time frame. Is that correct?
Correct.
Meaning that you looked at messages between Corey Richens and Eric Richens during this time frame.
Yes.
And in those messages, Corey Richens was telling Eric Richens to go take a nap.
Yes.
And based on what you've created with this exhibit, does this movement in context indicate to you that during this time frame, Mr. Richens could have been laying down or
Yes.
not moving?
Yes.
I want to talk about this activity sensor data. That data is proprietary to Apple.
Yes.
And tell me if I'm wrong, but Apple probably puts a lot of money into making that data.
I'm sure they do.
They want it to be correct for
Yes.
their users,
Yes.
and they would want it to be accurate for their users,
Yes.
because their users want that activity data to reflect what they're actually doing.
Yes.
Have you looked at activity data in other phone downloads that you've analyzed?
Yes.
And looking at phone activity data for other hundreds, maybe thousands of phones that you've analyzed, have you been able to tell if that data can be checked in other cases? Meaning that if somebody said, hey, I went for a 1 mile walk today, giving you a hypothetical, and then you could look at their phone and say that they went for a 1 mile walk. Have you been able to look at that type of data in other phones and verify that it reports in the way you would expect?
Are you asking about corroborating witness statements based on their activity in their devices?
Right.
Yes.
That activity data in other cases when you've analyzed it has been accurate and corroborated by other information.
In my experience, yes.
Just a moment. That's all I've got for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ramos, within the scope of redirect?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Judge. You indicated that the Ms. Sherbanek was talking about the information that was deleted
Yes.
regarding those thumbnails, GIFs, correct?
Yes.
Certainly, it would have been better for all of us.
It would have.
Does that file path and the information tell you who deleted it?
No.
And as you explained with the garbage collection, it could have been that way, correct?
It would have to be, it would have, if it wasn't deleted from the device, it would not have ended up there. There would be a remnant of it.
Right.
Yeah, it would be a data line.
Okay. Now, you were also asked about that you did not investigate or you don't have any reason to believe that anybody else had the blue iPhone. Do you recall that question?
Yes.
And you said that no.
Yes.
How do you come to that conclusion?
The big thing for me is there is a text in that phone from that device to Mr. Grossman in which the defendant indicates that,
So, to be clear,
yes,
I'm not saying that the phone wasn't Miss Richens,
right.
right?
Yeah.
My question is,
Okay, well, I'm
You
trying
in-
to answer it.
yeah, so I'll clarify my question to make sure I'm
Okay.
asking it right.
All right.
Is your testimony that there was nobody else who had access to that phone at all?
I don't know that.
Okay, that's my question. Now, you were asked about Apple software and proprietary software, and did you attempt to get information from anywhere else, whether it's Apple, whether it's another peer, whether it's another case, where you can get the information that you have in these extractions to validate it?
I kind of don't understand that
Sure,
question.
I'll
And-
rephrase.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I understand that you don't work for Apple,
No, I don't.
that you don't know how it works. That you, sorry,
well,
that you
I
don't
mean-
know how the activity sensor data is logged, correct?
I don't know what their programming looks like.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you make any efforts in this case with this information to try to validate that the information you had was up to Apple standards?
No.
You indicated that you've been able to rely on other cases before. How many cases?
At least 100.
And so in those cases with activity sensor data, in those you did test?
Okay. So analyze data in phones, at least 100 phones. There
Oh.
have probably been, I apologize, there have probably been a dozen or so cases where I've had to corroborate like witness statements and suspect statements, that type of thing, against their phones. And I have not found any inaccuracies.
I misunderstood. You, in those cases, corroborated the data that you received, but you did not run tests to make sure that the data you had was accurate.
Not physical tests, no, sir.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I have, Judge.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one question. You started to describe how you knew that no one else was using Corey Richens' blue phone.
Yes.
There was a text message that indicated to you how you know that.
Yes.
How did that message indicate it to you?
Not word for word or verbatim.
Summarize the message.
The message summary was a text from the new number, the 9592 number, which is the blue phone number, to Josh Grossman's phone. And Ms. Richens indicated to Mr. Grossman in that text that she had activated one of, I believe it was her mom's phones, and she would be using that now, so, to that effect.
So she told him, this is the phone I'm using to contact you now.
Yes.
That's all my question.
May we release this witness, counsel?
Subject to rebuttal if we need him.
Understood.
If we could not release him from the subpoena.
You are still subject to subpoena, so that means you can't, well, he's an expert, so the exclusionary rule does not apply to him, correct, Mr. Ramos? Okay. Maybe we'll see you in the future. You're free to go today.
All right, thank you,
for your
sir.
time.
Thank you, I appreciate
All
it.
right.